Hello, Year Threes. Today is day 2. We are going to be revising halving numbers to 100 using partitioning. You might want to get a piece of paper or your maths book and a pencil so that you can have a go at some of these things as we go along. Great. Let's write the number 48, then partition it. So you should have partitioned it into 40 and 8. You're going to halve your number. First we halve 40 and then we halve 8. And then you add your answer together. Let's have a look together now. Right, I've got my piece of paper and my special writing pen. Let's write the number 48 down. Now I'll partition it. I'll halve 40 and I'll halve 8. What did you get for half 40? If you got 20, great, well done. And half of 8? 4. Fantastic. Now remember to add your two numbers together to recombine them and makes 20 add 4 is 24. Okay, let's go back to the sheet and see what it said. Half of 40 is 20. Half of 8 is 4. Recombine, half of 48 is 24. Now let's look at another example. I've got my piece of paper and my pen again. You can do this with me. First, I've written 64 at the top of my page. Now I'm going to partition it into 60 and 4. Halve 60, great, 30, and halve 4, 2. Add your numbers together and bring them back, recombine them, 32. Fantastic, well done. Right, let's find out what half of 56 is by partitioning, halving, and then recombining. Half of 56. Half of 50 is 25. If you already know half of 50, that's great. If you don't, there's a slightly easier way to help us do it. 50 is in the tens column, so we can partition this off again, partitioning 10 off, and then 10 from 50 leaves 40, so it will be 40 and 10. Half of 40 is 20, and half of 10 is 5. And now we can do half of 6, which is 3. Now we add those numbers back together to recombine them, and that gives us 28, making it slightly easier. Half of 56. Half of 50 is 25. Half of 6 is 3. Recombine, half of 56 is 28. Half of 48 is 24. Half of 56 is 28. What did you think about these two calculations? Was one of them easier for you and one of them harder? Have you found a new way to help you with odd number halving? Now it's time for a challenge. Now we're going to find half of 45 by partitioning, halving, and recombining. Half of 45. Remember, half of 5 is 2.5. I've drawn up the first bit for us. What do we do next? Yes, that's right. Halve 40. Half of 40 is 20. Brilliant. Now to halve 5. Remember the method. If you can't halve 5 in your head, and it did say it was 2.5, but if you can't do it in your head, remember we can partition 5 off. 5 is in the ones, so first we'll partition 1 off. And that leaves us with 4 more, because 4 and 1 makes 5. Now you can halve 4 for 2, and half of 1 is a half. Now recombine by adding together. 20 add 2 is 22. 22 add a half is 22 and a half. Brilliant, well done. Half of 40 is 20. Half of 5 is 2.5. Recombine. Half of 45 is 22.5. 45 is an odd number. This affected what we did. Now it's your turn to have a go on your piece of paper in your book. Again, try finding half of 75 using the same method. Pause the video. When you've done it, restart it and we'll look at it together. Ready? Half of 75. Half of 70 is 35. Half of 5 is 2.5. Recombine half of 75 and you get 37.5. Did you get that right? Great. Give me a high five. 75 has an odd tens digit and an odd ones digit. This affected what we did. You can use that extra partitioning to help you for each bit. Let's make sure, though, that we can all recognise our odd and even numbers. We'll need this for the activity that comes next. What I want you to do is call out odd to the screen or even for all those whole numbers. Don't worry about the people in your family listening. They'll be pleased to know that you're working hard at your maths. Ready? Call out odd or even as the numbers get called out. 36, 23, 78, 59, 24, 47 and 70. How did you get on? 36, 78, 24 and 70 are all even. Numbers that end 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8 in the units or ones column are all even numbers. If the units or ones end 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, they're odd. So 23, 59 and 47 are all odd numbers. Now let's make a special chain of numbers. There are two rules. If a number is odd, you add 1. If the number becomes even, you halve it. Ready? Let's do this together to begin with, and then you can continue it in your books or on your piece of paper, and we'll check it. Start with 45. Is that odd or even? 45 is odd, so we add 1. 45 add 1 is 46. 46 is even, so we halve it and get 23. Okay, work with me. You're going to continue the chain, stopping when you get to 1. Pause the video now and write it down and see if you can get to 1. Press restart and we'll go through it. Remember, if it's odd, add 1. If you get an even number, halve it. Go. Great. Are you ready to see how you got on? 23 is odd, so we add 1. That becomes 24. Then we halve 24 and we get 12. 12 is even, so we halve it and we get 6. 6 is even, so we halve it and we get 3. 3 is odd, so we add 1 and we get 4. 4 is even, so we halve it and we get 2. 2 is even, so we halve it and we get 1. We've got 1, we can stop. How did you get on? If you didn't quite get it, try it again. Just remember the rules. If it's an odd number, you add 1. That then makes it an even number. Then you halve it if you have an even number. Every time you have an even number, you halve it. Every time you have an odd number, you add 1. Have a go. Great work today with me. Now it's your turn. Have a go at the halving sheet mild or the halving sheet hot. If you get through it and you're feeling confident, you can have a go at the challenge or investigation. If you're still finding it a little bit difficult, you can have a go at the getting stuck activity. See you tomorrow for some shapes.